I'm sure right now there's going to be somebody in the comments who's thinking right now, well, you can't help who you love. You know what? That's a crock. Yes, you can. So many of us say stupid shit like that to give ourselves permission to make bad choices. This is Dee. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. Well, guys, I am back with a new video. And you guys, I read this today and it had me feeling some type of way. It's got me feeling some type of way. So I just had to just jump on here real quick and make a video because I am tired of Black women and the poor choices that we make. Now, before we get into this, you guys, please do not forget to subscribe. You guys, subscribe to this channel and turn on those notifications so you are aware whenever I upload a new video just like this one. And please do not forget to support my second channel, Pretty and Things. The link will be below. So you guys, let's get right into this. So today, news broke that Sheree Whitfield, the former Real Housewife of Atlanta, she has reconciled, or she is now with a man who was recently released from prison. The man's name is Tyrone Gillums, and he was convicted in 2013 of a wire fraud. That is a federal crime, and he was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. He was released early last week because of the COVID situation. Now, you guys, when I read this, immediately I was just like, it made me feel away. And it's just so frustrating and annoying to me when here we see yet another Black woman making what I consider to be a very poor choice. A woman who has lowered her standards, to put it mildly. And once again, a Black woman who is willing to settle and in all likelihood be the head of the household and support him. Because you guys, this guy was in federal prison for nearly a decade. I mean, it's 2013. Think about that, you guys. We've had 3 presidents since then. 2013, but Obama was president in 2013, and then 2016 Trump, and now Biden. So that's a long time to be away. And what this tells me is that, she's immediately with this guy as soon as he, got out of prison. That tells me that she obviously stayed in touch with him. She maintained a relationship with him, a romantic relationship with him. She fostered a relationship. They maintained and grew a relationship while he was in prison. Sheree Whitfield is one of the original housewives of Atlanta. She is an entrepreneur. She is a designer. She is a media personality, and Sheree is a millionaire. She also has a beautiful home that, if you follow the show, she entitled, Chateau Sheree. In short, Sheree Whitfield is, an accomplished woman, a successful woman. In addition to that, she is banging. Sheree is 51 years old, and she put many girls, like half her age, to shame. She is stunning. Her body is banging. I mean, Sheree, on the surface, has it all together. She is, on the surface, when we talk about hypergamy and keeping yourself up and being physically attractive, she has done all those things. I mean, she is stellar. Now, let's look at this, just from a practical perspective. This man has been in prison for nearly a decade. He committed a federal offense, a financial offense, which means that in very, very high likelihood, he will have to pay back restitution. Now, he cannot have any assets because whatever assets he had prior to going to prison would have been seized to pay back this restitution. So this man has been released from prison. So what happens now? He is Sheree's boyfriend. Where is he living? Now, unless he's on probation and he has to live at some, halfway house, chances are he is living with her. The man has no income. The man has nothing. He is literally starting all over again. So who is footing the bill? Sheree. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that this man does not deserve a second chance. I am not saying that he does not deserve happiness, and I'm not saying that this man does not deserve someone who loves him. He went to prison. He did his time. He is out. And unfortunately since so many Black men go to prison, so many of them return because they don't have opportunity and options for gainful employment when they are released. Therefore, it's like a revolving door, a vicious cycle. So don't get me wrong. I would hate to see this man go back to prison because he did not have the opportunity to rehabilitate himself and to rebuild his life. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, why does it have to come at a Black woman's expense, both figuratively and literally? I mean, okay, so we've got Sheree, who is now with a man who's been in prison for nearly a decade. Then there is another cast member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Phaedra Parks, who married a felon. Apollo, she married, and Phaedra is an attorney, a successful attorney who married a convicted felon, had 2 children with him, and what happened? He ended up getting back into some mess and going back to prison again. And then you have someone like Nicki Minaj, who married a convicted felon, a convicted sex offender, who was in prison for 4 years. Not only has she married a convicted sex offender, she now has a child with this man, a convicted sex offender. Her brother is a convicted child rapist, and that she would marry someone with that type of background and proceed to have a child with him is just mind-blowing. Why? You're Nicki Minaj. You have access to all kinds of men. You're Sheree. You've got access to men. Phaedra. These are beautiful, successful women. They have options. You know what? I'd rather be alone, because basically you are alone. You are the breadwinner. You are the provider. You are the protector. You are his clout. No one would know this dude's name were it not for her. And the crazy part is, You know what? Dude would probably leave her for a younger chick. Who knows? Maybe even a white woman. Who knows? It would not surprise me if he comes up on her once he gets on his feet and he's like, bye. And it's just, I'm so sick of Black women never learning from their mistakes. I'm so sick of Black women who are willing to put themselves into these positions with these types of men. I'm sure right now there's going to be somebody in the comments who's thinking right now, well, you can't help who you love. You know what? That's a crock. Yes, you can. And that mindset is the problem with so many of us. Because ultimately, it's a choice. And when you say things like that, you are, it's a victim mentality. Well, I don't have a choice. I love him, but I don't have a choice. I can't help who I love. Bullshit. It's like we make these, it's like so many of us say stupid shit like that to give ourselves permission to make bad choices. Instead of making good choices to advance ourselves, to advance our lives, to advance our children's lives. And Black women complain about, how we have a hard time dating, and it's Black men don't want us, white men don't want us. It's like, but why? Why? Because we are seen as women without standards. We are seen as women who accept abusive, lazy, broke men. We are seen as women who neglect our children. We are seen as women who are overly sexual and promiscuous, which is why we have, all these babies out of wedlock. We are seen as irresponsible. We are perceived as the women that never get married because nobody wants to marry us. And we accept that. We accept the fact that no one wants to marry us, and we don't even expect anyone to marry us. We are not seen as gentle or feminine. We are seen as aggressive, masculine, loud, and ghetto. And yet Black women wonder why so many of us continue to lose, why our, women of non-color continue to win. Because look at the choices we make. Look at what we invite into our lives. Look at what we engage in. Look at who we engage. And as I've said before, it's not who you attract, it's who you engage. Sheree Whitfield is an extremely attractive woman. I'm sure she attracts many a man. But look who she engaged. Look who she chose. Same thing with Nicki Minaj. I mean, she's stunning. She's got access to, men all over the world. But look who she engaged. These are rich women. These are successful women. And yet they might as well be living in the projects because they choose a hood dude. They've chosen project dudes. When prominent women like Sheree and Nicki Minaj make these types of choices, it perpetuates the notion that Black women are not worthy or valuable because we don't see ourselves as worthy or valuable. If we are willing to accept this type of man, even if we are millionaire successful women, what does that say about us to the rest of the world? Black women, when are you going to learn? When are we going to wake up? You watch channels like this, and clearly you have an interest in leveling up and doing better and making better choices. and you know that you are in a position where you are trying to get up here. You are a woman, you're in your 40s, Sheree is 50. You have, gone through some things, as Sheree has. Sheree was in a bad marriage with a former football player. He didn't pay her child support, and that was sort of played out on the show as well. So Sheree has gone through some things, and yet despite all of that, she chooses to be with a man who has nothing to offer her. When are we going to stop accepting a man who moves into our chateau, Sheree, and find men or choose to be with men with their own chateaus who are willing, ready, and able to share what they have with us? Black women, we have to do better. We have to make better choices. You are responsible for your choices in life. You are not some powerless victim who has to choose the Tyrones of the world. This is why you have to expand your horizons to date men of all races. Tyrones are not the only option, and Tyrones cannot be the only options you give yourself if you want to level up. If you want to come up, you cannot continue to live down. No one would be happier for Sheree than I would if this is indeed her happily ever after. No one would be happier for Nicki Minaj if this is in fact her happily ever after. But because of women like Mary J. Blige and Jill Scott, it just doesn't bode well for Nicki. And because of her former co-star Phaedra Parks, it just doesn't bode well for Sheree. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, thumbs it up, you guys. A thumbs it up, and please comment below. I always like reading your feedback. Also, do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My handles will be up here. So until next time, mwah.